Alright, so the layout's a little bit different because I just got back from the shop and I got this bag right here. Bag right here is full of washers that I've cut out of felt. And we're going to use these washers to help protect the parts when we bolt them together, because the parts are made out of acrylic, but we're bolting it together with standard kind of like steel bolts, right? So I don't know, can we standard like steel bolts, we're just gonna kind of thread on these kind of washers here. Like, I don't know if you can see this here, but there is, how can I do this? Keep that up there. So there, yeah, this is a really tiny, you can kind of see the little black on there. Yeah, it's a felt washer. I cut the felt washer. So now I'm just gonna kind of pour everything out of the bag and slowly kind of like store these washers on a bolt, right? So I'm just gonna thread a bolt with a whole bunch of washers so that I have kind of like just that I have a way to keep track of them rather than having them kind of like all loosely kind of like hanging around on the place. And also I was thinking maybe I could sell these, but I don't know. It took me 35 minutes to cut one sheet of washers, and it was like a 23 by 23 section of washers. So it may be worth it, it may not be. It looks like these washers are like exactly the size I want in terms of proportions, so that's good. But now I have to like painstakingly kind of sort through all of the cruft, right? Because there's a whole bunch of waste material that I need to kind of sort through, right? There's like all this extra felt that's kind of like all over the place, and I'm gonna have to vacuum or something because it's gonna get all over the place. I know it is. But yeah, I'm just gonna consolidate this, and I'm not really gonna do much besides that. There's really nothing interesting going on besides that. I don't know if I have anything interesting to say, so I guess I'm just gonna get to it and do it, right? So I'm gonna try to record kind of like, I'm gonna try to record every process that I'm going through. If I'm being productive, I want to try to stream it, but not everything is always kind of like interesting code kind of stuff. So God, I have no clue how many washers are on here. That'd be kind of important to know. They also can kind of compress. Fortunately, these washers, they kind of compress. So I'm trying to like screw them all onto a, thread them all these washers, thread them onto a bolt and kind of screw it down. But, holy crap, there is a lot of compression. So we're going to try to count how many we have here, because I have no clue how many I have. Should have done that before I started kind of threading them on here. So we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, that makes 6. Okay, then we have 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 washers. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, 15 washers. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22 washers. 23, 24, 25. 25 washers. We could probably get it to 30. 25. Actually, 25 is a nice number, right? Because it's a nice quarter. So, I'm going to stick to 25 per bolt here. And I'm just going to bolt this down and Yeah, so we're just gonna bolt. So we kind of bolted 25 felt washers onto this bolt, right? So it's just like a 1.5 long interior bolt, and I just kind of put some washers on there. And I'm just going to keep on counting up 25 washers and kind of bolting them into little payloads so that they're kind of more manageable. Because right now, having them all loose like this is kind of a nightmare. So we got 4 here. Okay, so 4. And try to just open this up. Let's see if we can... Oh god, it's all like... There's so much friction on it too. So 4, 5, 6. Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. 12. And 13. 14, 15. I'm going to have to take a break after this. 15. 16. 17. 18, 19. 20. And 21. 22. 23. 24 and 25. Okay, then we'll throw them onto a bolt so it's in a nice little payload. Makes it more manageable. And then we'll get to the other ones. But I have to take a break because I just let's just go to the break screen here, and I just need to I need to take a break. So I'll be right back. I know I just started the stream, but this is what happens when I drink too much fluid. So should only take about 5 minutes. Actually, let's give it like 4 minutes. Let's give it exactly the amount of time. Yeah, 4 minutes should be fine. And then I'll come back early. If I come back before the timer drains down, I'll just stop the timer this time because no one's watching. Okay. So that only took 2 minutes to go upstairs, go pee, come back. So let's just close this timer and go back to where we're doing stuff here. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna thread these together, put these washers that I cut out So we got 4 here. God, the way this all sticks together is annoying. 5, 6. Okay, 7 and 8. Okay. 9, 10, and 11, and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, okay, and 18, 19, okay, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay. So we're just going to take this and fit 2 bolts on it. Call it good. So that's all in a nice little payload here. Where I have all the little washers screwed onto little bolts. I have 25 of them, and this makes the inventory a little bit easier to manage, right? Because like right here, like you can see that I got like they're all bolted together, and these little payloads that just make it a little bit more manageable. Because I have a lot of these. Unfortunately, there's a lot of it. So we're gonna have to. I'm gonna use this dish here to kind of clean up all this felt, all this excess felt that's all over the place. So as I'm going through here, it'll be a little bit easier. And I'm just gonna, I'm gonna turn on some music, or actually I'm gonna turn on a podcast. I don't know. I think a podcast might be helpful for this. Like just we got 4, yeah, because otherwise. A lot of this redundant stuff that you do that's kind of like menial work, right? Well, now you have some time to listen to some podcasts. And, I haven't been listening to any podcasts because it's been like code. And now I have some time. So let's go find something. And then, why don't we go find a Lex Friedman podcast? There was a good one that they did on like LSD or whatever. I want to find that one. Because there are some things that I wanted to. I was listening to it when I went to sleep, and I was listening when I went to sleep, and I heard some things that were interesting, but then, I was sleeping, so I wasn't in the, I didn't want to get up and take notes, and there were some interesting things that I wanted to take notes on, so, I'm gonna just take this, and, I'm gonna make some notes of, like, what I'm actually watching and listening to, because I don't want to just, like, let's see. So we're gonna make a URL for what I'm listening to before I start listening to it, just to give credit where credit's due. Okay, so we'll put, I don't know where to put that. Let's make a tiny URL as well, so www.tinyurl.com, and it's 145, so actually let's try to So it's Lex Friedman Podcast 145, I believe, right? Let me check that out. Let me make sure that's Lex Friedman Podcast 145. Yeah, 145. So I'm going to take that. Okay, cool. So I got a tiny URL, so I'm going to make a note of that. Lex LSD tiny URL. And then I'm also going to put it over here in my notes, so... So the tiny URL of the podcast. And then we can just make a note of, so Lex Friedman is his name, and these are really good podcasts. I'm just gonna... There we go. Okay. So let's add a sound source here. Audio output, I believe. HDMI-C. There we go. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna listen to this and do my thing with these washers, because this is just gonna be kind of mundane kind of stuff, and then I'll also kind of see what the time breakdown was for sorting through all these washers to figure out like how would it be profitable to sell these, and what would I have to sell them for, etc. Right? So we're going to assume that we're not sweatshop workers here. So even though I'm chatting a little bit while I'm doing this, I'm going to put that into the time cost. Right? We don't want estimates of our labor kind of done like in like very strict on the clock kind of stuff, unless that's how you want to live your life. I've done that thing where I've done remote work and had to do like log my time in 15-minute increments. I don't like that. So let's not try to live our life that way. So anyways, I'm going to listen to this and just keep on doing my thing. I ate up for a second here. Oh, I'm dropping 50% of my frames. What the fuck? God fucking damn it. Let's see here. taking forever. Gonna take a quick break. Dropping all my frames. Fuck. Okay. I'm starting to see why felt washers are so expensive. Okay. Wait. Just saving. I like to make bookmarks when I find interesting things. So I've just put everything together, and I just hit 1 hour. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 of these. So 20 of these, each of them have 25 on them. Some of them may have more than one, because I made sure to round up if I lost count. But there's 20 of them. Okay. Make sure. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so there's 20 of those. And it just took me about an hour, and it took me 35 minutes to cut. So let's think about the math involved here. So let's minimize that for a second. Okay. 11. So we took a 11.75 by 11.75 sheet and cut washers. Okay. Took 35. It took 35, actually 36 minutes. 36 minutes to cut, right? Not including setup time, so that's a rough number there. And we got took 1 hour. Let's say 1 hour and let's see, 110 minutes, because we're also logging this, so we're going to include the time that it took to log and set up. We're going to take that time and account for it. So minutes to thread onto bolts, right? So it took about 1 hour 10 minutes would be 70 minutes to thread onto bolts. And what do we get? We got 20 bolted payloads of 25 washers each, right? So that's what we got. Okay. What else? What else do we want to keep track here? Also, this is the wrong kind of screen. This is my other screen. I want to use this. Hold on. Wrong screen there. Okay. So, okay, so we got 20 of them. 20 times 25 per bolt. 20 bolts. Right. So 20 times 25, what is that? 20 times 25. So we roughly have, how many washers do we roughly have? So equals about 500. So we got about 500 washers. Let's say that we're going to sell them, though. If we're going to sell these, we're going to sell them in these little bolts, right? So these bolts of 25. So how much would we want to sell it for to make a profit? Well, first of all, I don't know how much the felt sheet cost in the first place, so we might want to look that up. So let's go look up what a felt sheet costs. Felt sheet, Amazon.com, right? So let's just look at what it might cost on Amazon. 42 pieces felt sheets, right? So let's assume that, well, if we can get 42 pieces, that we can probably get it for under $1. Can we just get black? Can we just always get it in black? 9 by 12 black felt sheet. $7.99 seems kind of expensive. So it seems that there's kind of a premium on black sheets here. So, because if we look at this, this is the material I think we had. And It's definitely the felt we wanted, but we don't really want all these different colors. We really just want black. Because we don't want to mess with all these different colors. So, so that's like 40 pieces, but realistically, if we want black, it looks like it's at a premium. It's like 10 pieces. So I think what we have is 1 millimeter thick. So, God, my bitrate sucks here. There we go. Oh no, we don't want adhesive though. So first of all, why the hell does it keep on... I hate how it kind of, like, changes my category. Like, just search all departments, please. So let's assume that, for whatever reason, if we just want... If we wanted to just buy black felt, right, it's probably going to cost us some money here, huh? So let's just store this in our shortcuts. Black felt Amazon. Buy black felt. Yeah, like, that's what I'm thinking, something more reasonable. 9 by 12 is still an odd kind of thing here. It's not the 11.75 by 11.75 I had. Okay. What's 1 millimeter to inches? 1 mm to... Is that 0.6, whatever the heck? 0.3. This is 0.6, so it's kind of twice as thick. So it might be something worth kind of looking into. Didn't think it would be so hard to find what I'm looking for here. 9 by 12. Not a package of 24, it's one single piece of felt. This looks like it's some type of aggregate. This does not look like it's the actual site. This looks like some weird auto-generated thing. It says Google Shopping, so maybe. Not a package of 24. Okay, so the thing is that might have to like go to the Joanne or something to find felt, because let's assume that things are always too good to be true, and let's just say that, you know, this is probably what we can get. So 20 cm by what's 20 cm? How about 30? It's not even the 12 by 12 I was looking at, huh? Okay, so this is the thing where it's like, you know, 45 cents each. But it's not as, it's a little bit thicker than I want it. So okay, so let's say that this is an interesting thing here. Looks like it has a Google Click ID. Let's remove that because we don't want. I was wondering why that URL looked too long. Okay, copy that. So I'm going to copy that and say, you know, black felt online fabrics. I'm just going to put that into my notes so that I can find this in the future, right? So, so over here, alright, so we'll keep these two URLs for ourselves so that we can find what we're looking for here. Okay. So now, let's just assume that, you know, $3, let's multiply this by 6, right? So let's say it costs us $6, right? Because we're going to have to buy 2 of them to get the amount that we just cut if we're going to buy this, right? So let's assume, you know, it costs like $6. Assume cost of felt sheet is $6, right? So let's assume that. And so the cost of materials, because we have 20 bolted payloads, we have $6 divided by 20 bolted payloads, and that will equal, so we got 6 divided by 20, and so the material cost to me is kind of equals 30 cents per payload. Okay. Now we have 106 minutes. 106 minutes divided by 20 bolted payloads. And if we take 106 minutes 106 divided by 20. It's 5.3 minutes. So 5.3 minutes per payload and 30 cents per payload. So I think that we could actually sell that for something competitive, right? So if we try to sell it for some type of profit, I think we could actually come out kind of like I think we could make it worth our time, right? So let's look at felt washers, right? And so what I'm looking at, these are not what I would expect them to be in terms of size. Well, they're expensive, right? So I'm only going to want to sell things that I'm actually making in terms of, like, for my own use. So the dimensions of my felt washers are going to be what they're going to be. What are they used for, though? Oh, I see. Interesting. So that's what they're usually used for. Now, I'm actually going to use them for something totally different. I'm going to save this as, I'm going to save this somewhere. I'm going to do, in here, I make a folder called Sum for Shop Summary. Or we could call it Show Sum for Shop Summary. I think all these things are too terse. So Shop Summary. And I'm going to say label this as 2021-02-18. Or actually it's from the 17th. So we should say this is the 17th. Felt washers cost. Felt washers cost.txt, right? So we can kind of use this to make decisions. But yeah, so that's interesting to know, I think. So I actually want to test out the washers and see if these washers... I have some leftover washers. So I have some leftover washers that I would like to... I have some leftover washers here. I'd like to mess with the parts I cut out and see... I just want to see how well this works, so... I'll be back. I gotta get something here. Alright, so I already have a prototype ready to go here, a little small prototype. And I'm going to take this small prototype that has the correct thickness of material. Alright, so I got this prototype here. And I'm going to try to put felt washers on it and see if... I just want to know if I put felt washers on this, do we have enough room after that fact, or are we in some type of trouble? So because that does add like a lot of extra. So that, yeah, so that lock washer definitely chipped up the material. And so I'm thinking, you know, if we do felt washer on each side, we're taking up a little bit more room, which might suck. But it will reduce the amount of abrasiveness on this. So I'm thinking, you know, a felt washer on each side and maybe a lock washer if I can get away with it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away with a lock washer as well if I put the felt washers, because the felt washers are already taking up a lot of room. That's gonna, the felt washer, the lock washer kind of acts as a, it acts as a, it chisels into the material. Like, it's very, the lock washers are very sharp. So it seems to me that by using a lock washer with a felt washer, it looks like I can help prevent some of that scratching. Yeah, I think that actually does help. It gets a little squashed and displaced, though. So I'm not sure if I totally like that. Now, if I try to do it without a lock washer, because I'm curious as to what's going to happen if I just don't use a lock washer at all and just try to put it together with 2 felt washers. Like, will that still have enough? Will the squishiness of the felt washer, like, help kind of, like, clamp it together? Or is there not enough springiness in this, right? So that's a question I have. I know I already took the time to get a whole bunch of lock washers, so it's like, if I don't need them anymore, that'll suck, but, oh, yeah, with, so, the felt washers actually have enough springiness in them that they actually do a really good job at yeah, like they offer enough springiness to keep it from rattling apart. Yeah, that's actually really good. And they also are going to prevent scratches on the material. So I know you can't really see that, but yeah, that actually works pretty well. So I think that maybe that was just a fluke, right? So I might want to try that out in some other places. But it seems to me that just oh, hey, I already have an empty spot right over here. I could just screw that in. So it seems to me that this is going to work. Hold on. So yeah, I don't even need those spring washers, it looks like. If I just use the felt washers, it looks to me that this will be pretty solid. I think that to use the lock washers with the felt washers, looks to me that that doesn't work very well, because the lock washer kind of just destroys the felt washer. Like, they don't work nicely together. Like the felt washer kind of gets distorted if there's a lock washer on top. It gets distorted in a very uneven, unappealing kind of way. So yeah, if I screw this together with felt washers on both sides, right? So if I have a felt washer on both sides, and I try to screw that together, and I screw it, to get it nice and tight, then yeah, that actually does keep it from, yeah, that's nice and solid. That keeps it from falling apart. Nice. So I can use felt washers instead of lock washers. And then, and this is for the design that, you know, is using acrylic. Now, if I have the design that's just going to use metal parts, then a normal lock washer instead of a felt washer would be a good way to go. But yeah, okay. So I have discovered something here, and I know kind of where I'm going to go. So I'd say I'm not sure I want to sell these things here, because I don't know. Let's look at the numbers again. So 106 minutes to cut and to put it all together. And it's like 5.3 minutes of my time. Well, it's 5.3 minutes of my time. You know, all we gotta do is, you know, be able to, sell it for, we don't even have to go to USPS. It's small enough that we could put it in a little container, right? And just ship it off to whoever's ordering it. So, I mean, that would be cool. But right now, these are kind of my parts for what I'm working on, so I don't know if I want to do that. But yeah, I'm going to start to organize my stuff here. And maybe go to bed. But yeah, figured out some stuff. So, really wish I hadn't melted this can here. I'm gonna put this tool in the melted canister and remind myself not to do that in the future. And then I'm gonna put these little bolted payloads. I'm gonna just collect them all in one place, so that I have them all consolidated. And these are roughly the number of things I need for all of the parts that I need to bolt together. All the washers I need for making that table, that are all in here. So I just put that all together. There is one other thing I want to look at, though, in terms of the summary. In terms of the summary of what's going on for the shop stuff, how many, so this is washers. Right, so this is washers in terms of the summary. And I also cut some pieces. So I'm gonna go count that for a second. 24 and 8. Okay. So I also cut some stuff. And I got 24 black 2-ways cut from 1/8 acrylic. Okay, and I also cut 8 clear 2-ways cut from 1/8 acrylic. And how many do we actually need, though? I don't know how many we need, but 24 divided by 8 Well, let's not divide by 8. Let's divide by 2, right? So there's equals 12 black parts. So they're double layered. So there's 2 layers of acrylic that make 1 part. So if I've cut this, if this is what I've cut, then I have to divide everything by 2. So 8 divided by 2 equals, 4 black, 4 clear parts. Okay. So it's gonna take us quite a while if we have like 300 parts. I think the model has, let's just say 400 parts. Parts cut. Okay. So we'll need to figure out exactly how many parts we need of certain things. But for now, we know that we've gotten this cut, right? So we need to create some type of inventory file that has like a summary of what has been made, and keep like a roster of that, so we know how close we are to meeting our quota for creating what we want to create here, right? So I need to go on a break here. So yeah, so this is my little tally of like how many parts I cut, and then you have the washers and figuring that out. So we're going to go on break here. And I'll be back in 3 minutes. Okay. So, I'm back. So I'm gonna start cleaning some stuff up here, putting my stuff back, and think about what I need to do next. so my lock washers are MIA. Where did they go? Fuck. Oh, they're back here? Okay, so there's some lock washers back here. I thought I had more lock washers than this. What the heck? Well, I mean... Why not? The battery. Throw this out. Okay, so I need to think about the next move that I'm going to make in terms of like trying to get somewhere here. I have no clue. I have no clue. But yeah, I need to figure out what am I gonna do in terms of taking a little step towards trying to make money every single day, right? So I think I need to maybe take some photos of the washers I have and maybe put them up on the internet. Don't want to sell the washers. The washers are very tedious. I really don't like doing that. I'd rather sell like acrylic sheets. Let's look on Etsy. So most washers that we're selling here that you can find are not the dimensions that I've kind of chosen. Alright, I chose some very specific dimensions. I don't know if that's something that is even something people would buy. Okay, so we're gonna go down to... I'm gonna go and start looking at creating some type of roster of parts. So so 20, 21, 02, 17. Just make a table, right? So 12 black. So we have... Do you want to do it in terms of how many parts worth? Let's do it in parts worth, not in terms of cross sections, right? Because the base unit is how many parts, right? So so we got two ways. So we got black, blue, and clear. So we did 0 this, and we did 8. We did 4 of those. So that's what we did today, right? That's what we got done. We didn't get much done. And we want to keep a list of this. So we got 2 ways, we got 3 ways. Then we also have like 4 ways. And then we have corners. So corner way. Corner. And let's get rid of that date stamp so that we can bring this in a bit and just say, you know, year 2021. Okay. And we have black, blue, clear, and then we can keep on doing this, right? So we got black, blue, and clear. And black, blue, and clear. And let's just make a little table so that we can keep track of this. We have corner pieces, and then we also have, in some cases for our design, let's look at our design really quick. So in our models, we have, in here we should have, we're looking at this. The bottom has kind of like these bat bones. I call them bat bones, and they're just used to cap off to make the legs. So we also need to cut those. So we got 2 ways, 3 ways, and 4 ways. We got corners, and then we got bats. Right? And that's all the parts that we actually need to be cutting. And I don't know what the total is in terms of the total amount of parts and everything. So if we look in the cut folder, so we have costs. Let's look at costs. No. Acrylic sheet. So there's some costs involved, but I don't know if I have an actual thing where I'm keeping a ledger of like, I know I've done this before, but we're just gonna have to go create one coffee table. So I don't know how many parts are in here. So we're just going to have to look at the drawing, the actual final produced thing, and we're just going to have to look at what we had, right? So so if we look at like the model pictures, right? We look at those pictures, we can derive how many parts are in there from the pictures, but there's a lot of parts. So if we just look at this, right, we can kind of derive what's going on here. So let's do the easy parts first. So the 4 ways, right? So the 4 ways, there's only really 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of 4 ways in the center, right? And then everything else is kind of 3 ways and 2 ways. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 ways here. And nowhere else is there any 4 ways, right? Those are the only places where we're going to see any 4 ways. Is that the truth? Yeah, that's the truth. So, 4 ways. Let's do 4W. So needed 4 ways equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on the top, and then 8 on the bottom. So we're going to need 16. And 16 is 8 pairs. So that's the easy one. And let's actually look at, let's try to go through things in order, right? So we have needed 4 ways. One, two, three, four, five. Five different types of things here. So we got like 2 ways, 2 ways, we got 3 ways, we got 4 ways, and you got the corners. And then we also have the bat bone, right? So 4-way, we already figured that out. I know I've computed this before, but let's try to figure it out. Okay, so the corners might be the next easiest thing to do, where the corners are really just right up here, right? So right up here, right up here, right up here, right up here. That's where they are. So for the corners, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just 6 corners, right? Because there's nothing going on here. We might want to consider, however, to make sure this is absolutely stable. I do like this design like this, but I question if that's stable enough. Like, I like this design, I just don't know if that's... Well, let's just go with the original design, because this is a design I like, and hope that it's strong enough, and if it's not strong enough, we'll have to fix it. But yeah, so 1, 2, 3. 3 pairs here. 1, 2, 3 pairs. Times 4, all the way around. Yeah, 3 pairs times 4. So that's 12. And 12 pairs makes 24 3-ways. So 24 3-ways. Oh, 24 3-ways. And the number of 2-ways, or actually it's not 3-ways here, those are corners, sorry. That's not up here, that's corners, right? The 3-ways is, we got 1 here, 1 pair here, 1 pair here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 on the top. And holy crap, there's a lot of 3-ways. So it's almost like... Eight pairs on the top, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pairs on top. And then on the bottom, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 more on the bottom, right? So 8 pairs on the bottom, 8 pairs on the top. Quite symmetrical, right? And that's not all of them, though, right? Because I was counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're forgetting this, right? We're forgetting these ones in here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So there's... Because those are coming from over here, right? Okay. So it's actually 16 pairs on the top. And then on one leg, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? 6 pairs per leg, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pairs per leg. And we got 4 legs, right? So 6 is 12, 24. So 24 pairs for the legs. Okay. So these are the 3-ways. If we put those all together, right? 24 and 16, right? That's 30. And then 40, and then 48 pairs, right? So 48 pairs. And 48 pairs means if we double that, right, because pairs, right, so 48 times 2. 48 times 2, we have 96. 96 parts. Okay, so we can put a 96 here. I'm fairly confident that that is correct. And the two ways are going to be quite a long number as well. So, two ways on the top, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs here. 4 and 4, right? So this cross makes 4 pairs and 4 pairs. And then we have radially around here, after that we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 pairs and 4 pairs plus 8 gives us 16. So there's 16 total here, but there's not just 16 pairs, because, yeah, there's 16 pairs. 16 pairs of the straight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So we can... Oh, wait, that's not a two-way. So we're thinking 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 here on the top. So, so the two ways. Let's just do two ways here. So two-way. We have 16 pairs on top. And then on the sides, or actually let's look at the bottom, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 as well on the bottom. So 16 on top, 16 pairs on bottom. And the legs have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 per leg. 6 per leg, 12 and 12 is 24. So, sorry, 12 and 12 is 24. 12 times 4 is 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 pairs. So 24 pairs on legs. Okay, so if we add these together, we got 24 and 16. So 30, and then 40, right? So 30, 40, 50, 56. So 56 pairs, which is 112 parts, right? So 112 parts. And then the bat bones are these little pairs down here on the feet. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pairs. Right? So the bats get 8 pairs. And that would be 16 parts. Okay. Okay. So, in terms of the straight bones that we made, we need to make quite a lot of them. We need to make 112. So let's just keep a running total here, right? So the totals we have so far, if we look at what we cut, we have 12 black, 0 blue, and 4 clear. Right? For the two ways. It's gonna take forever. So we can get away with just going to the shop and just cutting more two-ways for quite a while. If we keep this up. I mean, it's going to take us a long time to get this anywhere. So this right here, we're just going to strike through this. We're going to strike through the things that we didn't actually do today, so we can bring attention to what we actually want to focus on down here. Okay. Alright, so on 0217, we made 12 of these, 4 of these, right? We got a long way to go. Right? Because 112, if we need 112 of those, right? We're going to need, you know, 112 divided by making 12 of them in a day. We're going to need, like, 9 days. We're going to need 9 days just to get those. So, yeah, like this will take a month to get all the parts we need at the very most. So, I don't know what we call this. Let's just call this, let's call this, let's just name this one 2021, right? So this will be the, I don't know. Or just want to call this index. I don't know. How about so if we look at a calendar, what's 1 month from now? So 17th was the first day. And we want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So it'd be like the 19th. It would be the 19th of March. Okay. So this says, you know, 2021 0217 to 21 02 03 18. .txt, right? So, we're just going to use this as a summary of the goal. So I'm going to make some notes here. Coffee table summary, coffee table quest, and put that in my notes. Also this, I'm going to put this in my notes as well. So, felt washer notes, cut felt washers notes. Okay. So yeah, I have some notes for that now. So I can come back to this if I want. But I do want to always keep like a summary and kind of figure out where I am in terms of my goal for creating what I want to create here. Also, I think that what we're going to do is we're going to try to make the... If we try to make the legs first, right? If we try to make these legs, fabricate the legs. Alright, so are the legs completely symmetrical? They're not quite completely symmetrical, right? They have like a... Well, if we keep these parts on the bottom and we keep these parts on the top, then they are completely symmetrical legs. However... we gotta think in terms of being able to bolt this together, like fabricate things once and then put them back together. So we can kind of see that here we have kind of like a 3 ways, corners, and 3 ways. So this is kind of like one little leg assembly, and then we use the 2 ways to span it to put it together. So I think in terms of fabricating this, we'll kind of like start working on like the legs individually, and work up to 4 legs, and then make the base, and then we still have to make the panels. So, yeah, okay, I'm a little bit tired of this. I'm gonna stop now, and maybe go to bed or something. I don't know. Good night.